All right, here we are, 2.6, day 2. So, a couple of these, that's too easy. Let's do number 3. So, a couple of things to refresh your memory. All right, let's check. Is it possible? I just want to know, does this no solution? Is it infinite solutions? No, there's no negatives here. Don't sweat any of that stuff yet. Nothing to throw me off. Right away, I should be thinking, is this an or problem or an and problem? Okay, that should be going through your mind. You have a less than, so you know this is an and problem, so you're going to be shading between the two values. All right, so write your two equations. I have 2w minus 1 less than 11. The first one, no change in sign, no change in number. The second one, change the inequality, change the sign. So there you go. Next, it's just steps. Solve the equation. Plus 1, 2w less than 12, divide, w is less than 6. Over here, again, I go plus 1. I have 2w greater than negative 10, divide, w, greater than negative 5. That's a 5. So, like I already said, I know it's an and problem, so I know I have 6 and negative 5. There's no equal sign here, so I have open circles on both. And problem tells me shade between, so I shade between. There's the steps. So let's take a look at this. I've got a negative value here, so right away I've got to click my brain on, is this possible? Can I have an absolute value greater than a negative number? Yeah, all absolute values are greater than negative numbers. They're always like that. That's the nature of an absolute value. So right away, I know that any number I plug in for m, any number in the entire universe is going to come out positive. Positives are always greater than negatives. There's an infinite number of solutions. Every number in the universe is going to work because they're all going to come out positive. They're all going to be greater than or equal to negative 2, always. So you've got to engage your brain when you see the negative, the shape of this sign, the direction it's pointing, tells you whether it's going to be infinite or no solution. Let's do another one. So, I don't have to mess with negatives on this one, so go ahead and split it up into two equations. C minus 1 greater than or equal to 5, C minus 1 less than or equal to negative 5. Change the shape, change the sign, change the shape of your inequalities on these problems. So right away, I know what. How am I going to shade this? Is this an and or an or? Before I do the math, I want to think about this. Is this an and or an or? Well, it's greater than, so that makes it an or. So that tells me I'm going to be shading the two tails. I'm going to be shading outward. I know that right away. Do the math, add 1, C is greater than or equal to 6, add 1, less than or equal to negative 4. Open or closed. Closed circles on both, shade the outside, because it's an or problem. All right? That's the step. That's the steps. Let's talk about number 6. So, right away, some of you are thinking to yourself, this is going to be easy It's either no solution or all real numbers because you see that negative over there. And I'm going to tell you to slow your roll because you don't think about that until you have the absolute value isolated. We talked about this in chapter 1. I have to do the outside stuff first before I start thinking infinite or no solutions. So, do the outside stuff first. And right away, you see, now all of a sudden that's not a negative anymore. So it makes sense to continue through the problem. We talked about this yesterday. You do not distribute to absolute values. You have to divide by that value on both sides. Now I have something I can set up. Is it a negative number anymore? No, it's not. Do I need to do the work? Yes, I do. So I split it into two equations. D plus 1 greater than or equal to 2. D plus 1 less than or equal to negative 2. This sign right here, is it and or is it or? If it's or, am I shading between or shading the outside? You just know that. That's how ors work. That's where you shade. There's no guessing there. Always. You see a greater than, it's absolute value greater than, that's what you know. So I have D greater than or equal to 1, D less than or equal to negative 3. So my graph open or close? Positive 1. And since I know it's an or, I know I shade the outside, I'm shading that way. Isolate the absolute value first, then you can determine infinite, no solution, or do I need to solve? If you need to solve, this direction here tells you if it's and or, tells you if you're shading between or shading outside. Do the math, change the sign, get your two values, shade appropriately, move on. All right? Questions, comments, or issues? So this was day 2. If you missed day 1, this went a little fast. Go back and watch day 1's video for a little bit of extra help. And good luck.